Yo, what's up design lifers? Welcome back to the channel. It's Jimmy and today it's gonna be a video where I answer one of your guys' questions. Leave a comment down below if there's something that you want me to cover and I'm gonna go ahead and make that video answering your question. So this is from my man Ahmed and he asked, "Yo Jimmy, eagerly waiting for year 3 to year 5 videos." So if you guys don't know, this is essentially a series of videos where I'm covering some of the things that I made during my time at Cal State Long Beach to get my Bachelor's of Science in Industrial Design. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, the link should be down below, but I've already made videos of year 1, year 2, breaking it down to 2 different semesters, fall and spring. Alright, so before we actually get into it, let me just give you guys a quick overview about how Cal State Long Beach works. During the time I was going to school, there were 5 years and you couldn't go through them any faster. If anything, you could reduce it down to 4 years, but I came into Cal State Long Beach having completed all of my general education classes, and yet it still took me 5 years. Anyways, during the first year through the 3rd year, this is going to be the years where they teach us essentially the fundamental basic skills. Things such as using the shop, knowing how to use the tools, shop safety, so that we can actually know how to build things. Also, if you don't know how to draw, they will teach you how to draw starting from beginner level classes to intermediate and then obviously advanced. They're also going to teach us how to use things like Photoshop, Illustrator, SolidWorks. These are going to be the core programs that industrial designers will use. The very first 3 years is just learning the technical skills. Then towards the end of the 3rd year is when we're going to have to put all of the work that we made from the very first to the 3rd year, and our professors are going to get together into a committee, review your work, and see if you pass onto studio or if you don't pass, where you need to try again. So it's safe to say that the 3rd year is a very stressful year. Students end up breaking down and crying and getting super stressed out and overwhelmed. For fall semester of my 3rd year, I took 3 classes: 280, 320, and 356. 280 is a class where they essentially teach us engineering and manufacturing processes. This is going to be a very gritty class, very mechanical engineering based, but it's extremely valuable, and it's a class that I didn't really like at the time, but now looking back, I know that I learned a lot in that class. 320 is going to be more of a philosophical class. It's going to be more of the artsy kind of class where you're not necessarily designing products themselves, but you're studying them. You're studying the form and what possible things can you make using form. And then very last, 356 is advanced SolidWorks. So we have beginner SolidWorks, where essentially they are introducing us SolidWorks. They're teaching us how the program works, and they're also alongside teaching us KeyShot, which is the rendering program. So you hand in hand, you use the 3D program to build your model, and then you use KeyShot in order to render it and make it look pretty. So 356 is just going to be a continuation of that, where they actually are introducing to us surfacing. Surfacing allows us to create more organic shapes rather than just a traditional way of building things. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and jump right into 280 and see some of the work that I created. So in this class, like I said, it's going to be very engineering based, things such as reverse engineering. It's going to teach us how to make our products transform or function using articulating mechanisms or kinematic mechanisms, and I created a whole video on this topic, so go ahead, check out the links down at the bottom. Once we learned all about articulation, we had to put it to the test. So we start off with the 6x6 cube and essentially turn it into something else of our choice. So I decided to create a tank. I wanted to change my 6x6 cube into a tank, and this is how I did it. Hello everybody, my name is Jimmy, and this is my tank. So the first thing that you do is you flip these small triangles down, just like that. And you do the same on the other side. And it holds together via magnet. You do the same on the other side. This nests inside, same with this, just like that. And this is the cannon housing, and it's a little bit too tall now, so I'm going to lower it. I'm turning it around. I'm going to pull the cannon out halfway. It nests inside of this box here, just like that. I'm going to pull out the sides, and it collapses into itself. Then I'm gonna pull the rest of the magnet or the cannon out by telescope. Just like that, swivels. And then when it's time for battle, the tank spreads apart to get that wider stance. So it gets that wider stance, and then in order for it to lock into place so it doesn't open and close easily, I'll pull it back, and when I pull it back, these two front doors will open up. Oh, check it out. Oh, just like that. So that's one side, and that's the other. And then the soldiers come out. So that's a little sneak peek into what class presentations is like, but let's go ahead and move on to the next project. This is all about kinematics. Kinematics is similar to articulation. It is mechanical mechanisms, but this is more focused on motion and things such as gears or pulleys, stuff that actually move. So we're gonna have to learn about these type of mechanisms and then apply them to our own product. So in this case, I decided to design a Batmobile. It rolls forward, and it's very subtle, but there's these two cannons here that fire off when you move it forward. So I'll do it again. And if you pay attention, the rear spoiler also goes up and down. See that? There's two more cannons in the front that are linkaged.
Linkaged?
So they go
is that
forward.
a word?
Just like that. How it works is, in the rear here, it's powered by 3 different cams, one in the center and 2 on the sides. The one in the rear it's pushing up the stick, which pushes up the spoiler.
The stick, the Traveler.
The Traveler, yeah. And then the side ones are opposite direction of each other, so that when it pushes on the back of this, and then this spring pushes it back, so it goes back into place. Not one of my more proud projects, but this was actually a class that was very difficult for me because I'm not used to designing anything that has function to it, stuff that have articulating function, stuff that have motion, but nowadays I use that all the time when I'm designing my products. So this is definitely a very valuable class, and I also updated the Batman one because this one was more of my prototype. I made it out of wood really fast, and so I ended up remaking this one out of acrylic. Moving on to the next project. So now that we know how products work, we are made to select a product that actually has some kind of function so that we can study it and essentially reverse engineer it. Here is the book that I ended up creating for this reverse engineering product. I ended up picking these I don't know how to say that. These pair of hair clippers that I often use to cut my hair. And here's just a table of contents. It's essentially a book type of format. This is probably one of the first books that we had to create. This is a Keyshot model of it that I catted out, and then I essentially did an exploded view of. Moving on, you see the anatomy of the product where I break down some of the parts that the clippers have. And then here is a kind of infographic on how everything kind of comes together, kind of like a quick start guide in a way. Then this is where I study the human factors and I study how somebody will use it, going ahead and documenting it, creating a SolidWorks model, breaking down each part and also labeling the names of each part and understanding what each of them do. That's essentially what I do moving forward throughout the book here. So this is really thorough thing, and it's a great project so that you can actually learn about how products work and see how they are put together and understand what each little part does to create the whole product. All right, designers, I'm actually going to end the video right there. It's reaching about 10 minutes long, but I'm so glad that you made it to the end of the video. If you did, definitely let me know down in the comments. And also, if you have a question, leave it down in the comments and maybe I'll try to answer it in the next video, just because I want to make more videos, but I don't know quite of what. And so I want to make content that you guys actually want to watch. So definitely leave me a question down at the bottom and I'll try my best to answer it in the next video. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching my content. Also hit that like button if you learned something and share these videos with a classmate or a friend of yours. Alright guys, my name is Jimmy and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.
Me too. Did you know that was in the ear?
I'm pretty sure I can carry a lot right
I wanted to see it, but I missed it.
I saw it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Like,